This video is sponsored by Squarespace. More about them at the end of this recipe.
Why didn't I find out about picanha sooner? My dad never told me about picanha. Sure, he gave me fajitas and ribeyes and beef ribs, but what about picanha? Why don't more people talk about it and cook this delicious steak? In this video, I'm going to show you 2 different ways to grill picanha perfectly. We're going to set up our Weber kettle for dual zone cooking, and we're going to start by smoking both picanhas with an indirect fire first. When they hit about 135, we're going to take one of them out, slice it against the grain into about 1 1/4 inch steaks, then put them back on the grill over direct heat for about 1 minute on each side, giving them that delicious char flavor. For the second picanha, we're gonna flippity flip that one directly over the fire a couple of times again to give the outside of that steak that amazing Maillard reaction flavor. Let's get started. Vámonos! There's only a couple of things that you really need to know about picanha. Number 1, it's a steak. Most steaks are best medium rare for perfection. Some people like them a little more well done than others. That's okay too. Just don't overcook it because it'll dry out. It won't be moist and juicy. Number 2, it's a steak. In most cases, you want to cook it hot or at least medium hot. Number 3, like any good steak, you want to give it a little bit of a rest time to allow the juices to redistribute and make that steak juicier and more moist. And number 4, of course, you gotta cut across the grain. Number 5, depending on how you're cooking, you gotta flippity flip because it's still a steak. All right, friends, with all that said, let's get started. First of all, we're gonna trim these picanhas a little bit just to get the silver skin off the top, so that will allow our rub to really stick to the meat. All right, let's get in here and get this fat out of here. And I'm using a 6-inch bony knife. This is a Grip Tex. They're made by Getcha. You wanna get all the silver skin off of here. Try not to get too much meat off of there. This one, it looks like they left on a little extra stuff here with the membrane underneath it. Just gonna go straight across just like that. You can see here, there's the membrane. I'm kind of trying to get that membrane off. Looks like a fajita, doesn't it? We're definitely gonna cook it. I guarantee you that. It ain't going to waste. These have quite a bit of fat. I'm just gonna trim a little bit of it off. I do prefer not to take it all off. In some cases, I have taken it off completely. Today, we're gonna leave some of this fat on. We're gonna give these steaks about 10 minutes with a seasoning on them. I just lit my fire before we hit record, so my fire in the Weber kettle should be perfect when we go outside and get this show on the road. When you're gonna cook directly over the heat on a real hot fire, you can be a little bit more aggressive with your rubs. Some of that's gonna fall right into the fire. All right, that one looks good to me. Oh, this one smells so good. This is the way we do things in Texas. And I know, some of you are gonna say, all you need is salt, or all you need is salt and pepper. Nothing wrong with salt and pepper. Salt and pepper does make a delicious steak and a wonderful picanha, but a little extra flavor ain't gonna hurt nothing, man. On the fire, I'm running some propane char logs and just a couple of little pieces of mesquite, just for some of the extra South Texas flavor. And I'm gonna put this probe right about here on the thickest part of this one here, just to kind of give us an idea where we're at during the cooking process. All right, we're cooking. All right, this is showing 375 on the Weber kettle thermometer. Mine says 344. So surprisingly, that's pretty accurate today. And let's just go ahead and time this whole cook. Right at 30 minutes just about. Sitting at 131 degrees here. Internal on the big one. Let's see how the little one is. This little one's at 129, so it's right about the same. We're gonna rotate this bad boy here, 180 degrees. This one too, we're gonna set it right there. We're gonna give it a couple more minutes to get to about 135. All right, friends, we're at 135 on the big one. All right, I'm gonna pull this one out. We're gonna cut it into steaks about 1 inch long. So we're gonna try to cut these into about 1-inch strips here, more or less. The grain runs this way. Remember, we wanna cut with the grain. That way when you cut your steaks, you're cutting across the grain. So let's go right here for about a 1-inch, approximately 1 inch right here. I'm gonna let them set there just a minute, and then I'm gonna stick them on there. Then I'm gonna go ahead and put them back on the grill and sear them. While we're waiting for those a little bit, we're gonna go ahead and give this a taste test in a medium rare condition. Ooh. Ooh-wee. Oh yeah, that's really good, huh? Okay, we're gonna pull the other one over to the cutting board for a little while. And in the meantime, we're gonna put these right on the fire.
just to give them a little sear. All right, what do we have here? All we're doing is putting a nice little sear on here. Didn't take but about a minute on each side. We don't want to overcook them. We're going to give this one a nice little sear on both sides. Little flippity flip on the old Weber kettle. Now I'm going to go ahead and pull this one because otherwise it's going to get overcooked. It was 57 minutes up till right this minute. We actually pulled them about 15 minutes ago. So it was a 45-minute cook altogether approximately. And remember, we had them indirect for 30 minutes approximately. So then by the time I get out here and slice them, put them back on the fire, give them a little flippity flip, one cut into slices and one whole, there was a little extra time there. And then by the time we came in here and got the camera rearranged, here we are exactly an hour later. All right, let's see what these picanha steaks look like. Look at all this juice. Whoo-wee. Man, oh man, I'm telling you. Now remember, these little steaks we sliced with the grain so that we can cut them across the grain. And you can see this grain, it runs just like this right here, this direction. Not quite straight across, not quite lengthwise, it's kind of at an angle. So we're gonna slice the steak right across the grain, right here. Slices nice and easy. All right, my friends, let's see what it looks like. Beautiful, perfect, medium to medium rare, perfect, just perfect. Cheers, my friends. Man, that's good. Man, oh man, that is super delicious, super good. Even with all the wow I put on there, I would say could still use a little shake of salt, but it's really, really delicious just like that. One of the reasons I like to rest my steaks on the plate or in a little foil pan like this, because then you can pour the juice all over the steak just like that. And I know it's a different flavor profile. I had them both in here, but this one has the grain running across this way. So let's just go ahead and start slicing on it. See what it looks like. You saw that it got up to 135, 137-ish. Let's see what it looks like. I can tell it's very soft. All right, here we go. Look at that. So nice. Super nice. Perfect medium rare to medium. I mean, it's perfect. That was 135 to 137-ish on the internal temperature. On top of that, we gave it a flippity flip sear on both sides. It still turned out just beautiful. Let's see what it tastes like with this brisket rub on here. Oh man, this is the brisket rub. Wow. Man, that's super soft, super tender. As you can see, it's super full of juice. Unbelievably good. Some big steaks like this can really stand up to a little extra salt. The brisket rub has a little more salt than the wow. This picanha can definitely take it. This is an amazing flavor. Oh my God. All right, now we did two picanhas, one of them with wow, one of them with the brisket rub. The one with the wow, we cut into steaks, gave it an extra little sear. I do think after doing both of them different, I prefer cooking it this way. You can see medium well, you can see that whole medium to medium rare perfection on that. Just gorgeous, man, just gorgeous. All right, friends, we better wrap this up because this steak's getting cold and I want to eat it all. And Terry wants to eat the other one, right, babe? Or do you want some of this one? Both. Friends, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We wanted to share it with you. These are two different ways to cook a picanha, two different rubs, two different flavor profiles, both of them phenomenal. And if you want to get some wow, brisket rub, or OG, you can go to pitmaster.us. If you want to up your barbecue game, go to pitmasterclass.us. We'll see you there. Thanks for watching, friends. Keep the smoke light, make it work, and boom! Boom, boom, boom. Vámonos. They're soft, they're tender, they're delicious, and they're quick and easy to make. Oh, that was almost a whole hour. If you like 125 or 128 or 130, or if you like it totally raw, more power to you. Do it the way you like. Nice and dark, the way brisket bark is supposed to look. And if you do happen to steal a little too much meat, go ahead and put it in a little boiling water in a pot and give it to your puppy dog. Or just use it for some homemade beef broth. Where were you all my life? I know you're gonna be in my life a lot more, picanha, that's for sure.
Thanks again to this video's sponsor, Squarespace. Squarespace is an all-in-one platform to create your own website, build your brand, host your e-commerce, and so much more. For content creators, it offers powerful tools that are easy to use, like their mailing list, where you can collect email addresses right off your website and send your subscribers the information they care about the most. With Squarespace scheduling, your availability is easily visible for your audience and clients, so you can seamlessly schedule and organize reservations, appointments, and classes with your members. This saves so much time and creates a great experience for your audience. With our members area, it's also a great place to host gated content so you can connect with your community while creating new revenue streams for your business and your brand. Head to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when y'all are ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/arnietext to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain.